Welcome to Kunzy Podcast English. This is not just a place to learn English, it's where we explore inspiring stories, uncover deep perspectives on the world, and most importantly, grow together on the journey of self-development through the global language. Today, we dive into a topic filled with drama, intrigue, and unexpected twists: Trump and China, when a kind word becomes a risky move on the global chessboard. Have you ever wondered, why would a famously tough politician like Donald Trump suddenly declare that he would be very kind to China? Is this simply a gesture of peace? Or is it a sign of a brewing storm beneath the surface? Let's decode the hidden meanings behind this statement with Kunzy Podcast English, explore the deeper strategies of global power, and sharpen your English listening skills through every layer of this gripping political story. Part 1, we will be very nice. One statement, a whole power game in the world of politics. Sometimes a single sentence can shake financial markets, shift the strategies of global powers, and spark a million questions. What is really happening behind the scenes? Just recently, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, stunned the world with a simple statement: we will be very nice to China. Just one sentence. Short, calm, but deeply loaded. The world is used to seeing Donald Trump as a hawk, tough, confrontational, and willing to wage global trade wars to protect American interests. He is the man who unleashed a barrage of tariffs on Chinese goods, blacklisted major Chinese tech giants like Huawei and TikTok, and publicly labeled China as America's biggest threat. So why now, suddenly, does he say the U will be very nice? Is this a sign of a historic turning point in U-China relations? Or is it just a calculated move in a much bigger political game? We're talking about the two largest economic powers on Earth. On one side, the United States, the world's top economy, with unmatched tech innovation, a robust financial system, and strategic alliances around the globe. On the other side, China, a nation of 1.4 billion people, rising faster than any country in modern history, and becoming more assertive on the global stage. The relationship between these two giants isn't just about tariffs or trade. It's a silent war over ideology, technology, military power, and global influence. And now, the man who once made China tremble with wave after wave of sanctions, now chooses the word nice. Could this be the beginning of a new era of peace? Or is it simply a clever disguise for a future strategic counterattack? In his latest remarks, Trump not only used the word nice, but also mentioned the possibility of significantly lowering tariffs on Chinese goods, from the current 145% to a much more reasonable rate, though not back to zero. This is a major shift if it actually happens. Since 2018, Chinese imports have faced some of the highest tariffs in trade history. So what's driving this change? Has Trump realized that an endless trade war is damaging both sides? Or is he setting the stage for a much larger political maneuver, one where China must stay within reach before he makes a global power move? Some analysts believe this softer tone doesn't show weakness, rather, it's Trump creating space for negotiation, keeping the upper hand while not pushing China too far. Others suggest this is just a way to test China's reaction before launching a new round of pressure. But no matter the reason, the phrase, "we will be very nice to China," sends a powerful signal, especially because it comes from a man no one expects to go soft on Beijing. Global media quickly jumped in. The Guardian, AP News, Financial Times, all raised the same questions. What is Trump planning? Is the world entering a new era of cooperation or on the edge of a greater confrontation? Is this strategic diplomacy, or just the calm before a storm? The financial markets also responded immediately. Stocks ticked upward. Chinese tech stocks rebounded. Global investors started to bet that supply chains might finally stabilize after years of tension. Some are even thinking further ahead. Could this be the prelude to a landmark trade agreement in Trump's current term? One that might reshape the global balance of power? And if so, who will truly win? All of this speculation, all of this tension, comes from one surprisingly gentle sentence: we will be very nice to China. But as you know, in politics, nothing is ever nice unless it serves a purpose. So what is Trump really playing at? And how will China, his longtime rival, respond? Join me as we dive into the next chapters of this unfolding story, where every word, every strategy, and every move is a piece of a larger puzzle, the clash, or alliance, of the two most powerful nations on Earth. Part 2, Inside Trump's Master Strategy, from being nice to taking control. We will be very nice to China. That wasn't just a promise. It was a spark, igniting a storm of speculation, strategy, and silent moves behind the curtains of global politics. Because with a political figure like Donald Trump, nothing is ever said by accident. Every word, every gesture, every tweet has a purpose. A purpose that usually leads to one thing: winning. So we must ask, why now? Why would Trump, famous for his hardline stance on China, suddenly soften his tone? Is this the sign of a new world order quietly taking shape? Or is it just a clever feint, a calm before the next thunderstorm? 1. Trump, the man who writes the rules. If you've followed Trump long enough, you know he doesn't just play the game, he rewrites the rules. While most politicians navigate through bureaucracy and tradition, Trump walks in like a business titan, throwing out convention and going straight for the deal. In trade, he did what no modern U.S. president dared to do: launch a full-scale tariff war against China. In tech, he blacklisted Chinese giants like Huawei and TikTok, citing national security threats. He once boldly declared, "If you're not tough with China, they'll walk all over you." Yet now, the same man is talking about being nice. This isn't a change of heart, it's a change of strategy. Trump understands that an endless trade war damages both nations, but he also knows that one well-timed peace offering can shift the narrative, catch China off guard, and put him back in control. It's like a chess gambit, sacrificing a piece to control the board. Trump's niceness may very well be his most strategic move yet. Why now? The hunter's instinct: timing is everything. This statement comes just as the U.S. enters another critical election season, when every word has the power to sway millions of votes. Trump knows that Americans are tired of endless tensions, rising prices, and unstable supply chains. They want a leader who's strong, but also knows when to turn down the heat and get results. And beyond America, the world is in chaos. War in Ukraine drags on. The Middle East is boiling. Global inflation is biting harder. Supply chains are still recovering from the pandemic. In this storm, if Trump can pull off a reconciliation with China, he doesn't just look like a strongman, he becomes a stabilizer of global order. There's nothing random about this niceness. It's the move of a master strategist seeking total advantage. China watches, the silent response. And what about China? Beijing is far from naive. They know Trump's statement may be a trap, but they also know, rejecting this olive branch too quickly could make them look like the aggressor. So, they play it cool. Chinese state media covered Trump's statement, but with neutral tones: no excitement, no rejection. That's Beijing's way of staying in control, keeping their cards close, and waiting for Trump to show his hand. At the same time, quiet trade talks are being initiated behind the scenes. China wants to see if this niceness is real, or just a setup for the next blow. Behind the curtain, a story just beginning. Trump's statement may appear peaceful, but make no mistake, this is just the opening chapter. Because this isn't just about trade anymore. This is a battle for who gets to lead the 21st century world. And Trump? He doesn't play by the old diplomatic rules. He doesn't care about what's polite, he cares about what works. If a moment of niceness helps him regain political momentum, stabilize public opinion, undercut Biden's foreign policy, and pull China into a more favorable negotiation, then of course, he'll say it. But don't be fooled. In geopolitics, niceness is never just about being nice. It's bait, it's leverage, it's the first move in a much bigger, smarter, and possibly more dangerous game. The question now isn't whether Trump meant what he said. The real question is, what will he do next? And how will China respond, when every move they make could shift the balance of global power? This is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of a new chess match between two giants, and the world is watching every move. Part 3, China Strikes Back, a battle of minds on the global chessboard. On the global stage of power, no move is ever simple. And just like Donald Trump, China is no ordinary opponent. They don't shout, they don't rush to respond. They watch, analyze, memorize, and prepare. Because they understand one thing. Behind Trump's sweet words lies a maze of strategy. And if they misstep even once, the entire world order could shift. China, the art of silence. You know what one of China's most powerful weapons is? It's not their military, not even their technology. It's their patience. While the West often reacts quickly, guided by political cycles, China follows a different rhythm, slow but deliberate. When Trump declared, "We will be very nice to China," Beijing's analysts didn't laugh, didn't get excited, didn't reject. They read the message. Because in politics, niceness isn't goodwill, it's a tactic. And China knows, if Trump genuinely wanted to be nice, he wouldn't say it out loud to the public. So that statement, it can only mean one thing, a strategic move. The quiet response, closed-door meetings and signals from Beijing immediately after Trump's statement, high-level meetings among China's diplomatic and economic agencies became more frequent. State-run media stayed quiet or reported the news with minimal commentary, a classic strategy to maintain control. But behind the scenes, China is far from idle. They sent trade delegations to Europe, strengthening ties as a way to reduce dependency on the EU. They ramped up cooperation with BRICS nations like India, Brazil, and South Africa to expand global influence. And most importantly, they began preparing for both scenarios, cooperation or confrontation. In a leaked internal speech, one said, "We don't know what Trump wants, but we know he always wants to win. And to win, he's willing to flip the entire game board." So China is also preparing its strategic weapons. Not missiles, but money. Not threats, but investments. Finance and technology. China's modern swords to respond to any move Trump makes. Beijing has chosen a two-pronged strategy. First, they are accelerating the internationalization of the yuan to reduce reliance on the US dollar, America's ultimate financial weapon. Second, they are doubling down on developing AI, quantum computing, and clean energy, areas where they could surpass the US. In the next decade, China isn't just playing on their home turf, they are trying to rewrite the global rulebook. And if Trump returns to the White House, they already have a plan B ready to launch. So Trump's niceness, unless backed by action, will be treated by China as nothing more than empty words. But that doesn't mean they underestimate him. On the contrary, they respect him more than any previous US president. Why? Because Trump is the most unpredictable player of them all. The intellectual battle, who holds the advantage? Both Trump and China understand this. Modern warfare is no longer about bombs, it's about brains. Trump has the courage of a warrior, the decisiveness of a businessman, and the ego of a king. China has the endurance of a 1,000-year civilization, the precision of a strategist, and a vision far beyond any single election term. This game is not about who wins today, it's about who gets to shape the future. And in this match, every move is a mystery. Is Trump genuinely opening a path toward cooperation? Or is he luring China into a vulnerable position before striking? And how will China respond, with partnership or silent escalation using finance and technology? No one knows for sure, but the world is watching every step, because the stakes have never been higher. The phrase, "we will be very nice to China," may look like a simple news headline, But behind it are thousands of decisions being made, hundreds of plans being activated, and a quiet but brutal race to control the future of global power. We are living through a historic turning point, and if you think everything is clear, just wait for Part 4. Because that's when the real cards will be played. Part 4, Future Scenarios. When the American eagle and the Chinese dragon reshape the world, a single statement can shake the markets. A small move can tip the balance of power. And one relationship, between two superpowers, can determine the fate of the world. After former President Donald Trump's cryptic remark, "We will be very kind to China," the world didn't stop at analyzing the present, it began to imagine the future. In this part, we'll dive into the possible scenarios that could unfold if Trump returns to the presidency, and the U.China relationship enters a new phase: peace, confrontation, or a complete reshaping of the global order. A dangerous possibility that experts fear: the U.China rivalry might not produce a winner, but could end up damaging both sides. The reversal of globalization. If tensions continue to escalate, a wave of anti-globalization could spread across the world. Nations might withdraw from free trade agreements, shift toward self-manufacturing and stockpiling instead of relying on others. This could lead to soaring prices, disrupted supply chains, and inflationary crises. And this wouldn't just affect the U.S. or China, it would leave the whole world gasping for breath. A split in technology. The new bipolar world. A once distant scenario is now becoming a visible reality, a technological divide across the globe. On one side, the U.S.-led ecosystem, Google, Apple, Microsoft, ChatGPT, etc. On the other, China's digital realm, Huawei, Baidu, Alibaba, TikTok AI, and more. People around the world may soon be forced to choose: which ecosystem will they use? Where will they get their information? From whom will they learn and innovate? This split threatens to fracture global knowledge, and slow down the collective progress of humanity. A warning: who is rewriting history? The most important question is not who is stronger, but who holds the pen to write the future. Is it Trump, capable of shifting the global landscape with a single tweet? China, with its century-long strategies that never reveal their hand too early? Or perhaps a third force, the tech giants, financial elites, or sweeping global social movements? The truth is, we're living in an age where every prediction can be flipped overnight. And the most dangerous part? When two superpowers sit at the same chessboard, no one knows which piece will be sacrificed next. The world is holding its breath, waiting for the next move. Trump has dropped a kind message, like a stone into a still lake. But the ripples are spreading, not just toward Beijing, but across the entire globe. It could be the beginning of peace, or it could be the first tremor of a coming storm. And when the final pieces are revealed, will we witness the birth of a new world order, or an unprecedented global upheaval? Part 5. When a hug could be a stranglehold. Trump's talk of being kind is not meant to end a conflict. It's the opening move in a new chess game, one where he seeks total control. Like a master poker player, he hides his cards, speaks gently, but already has a checkmate strategy playing out in his mind. The question is no longer whether China believes in this kindness. The real question is the world ready for the final match? Because when the eagle spreads its wings to embrace the dragon, it may not be to protect, but to restrain, to tighten its grip, and to dominate. Thank you for taking the time to listen to Kunzy Podcast English. If you found today's episode interesting, helpful, and a great way to learn English while gaining deeper insights into the world around you, don't forget to let me know you're here, share to spread the knowledge to more people, and subscribe to Kunzy Podcast English, so you won't miss out on the exciting episodes to come. Every single subscription is a huge motivation for me to keep creating high-quality content, helping you learn English more naturally, more effectively, and most importantly, more inspirationally. See you in the next episodes. Keep learning, keep growing. Kunzy Podcast English, where English isn't just something to study, it's something to live.